What up? It's me, DJ Throat Wizard, bringing you all of the illest penis incantations to trans your genders and radicalize your youth. Today we're going to be continuing talking about The Walking Dead. We'll be finishing up Season 1. That's episodes 3 through 6. I won't be talking about what we already talked about because you can go back and watch my other video. So anyways, I guess let's get started. Episode 4. We've got, we have the Spice Girls are out looking for Merle, and then we've got the, camp group. So at the camp, we have Andrea and Amy, and they're fishing. They're off in a little boat, and they're catching fish. It's cute. They're talking about how their parents are dead. That part's not as cute, but, everyone's parents are dead, kind of get over it. The Spice Girls group, they're up on the roof, and they just found Merle's hand, remember? That was really funny. Daryl doesn't think that it's funny. He's really upset. We feel for him. We're all very upset. But anyways, Daryl keeps the hand, which I'm really glad, because I didn't know he was going to do that when I set that joke up in the last episode. Go watch the last episode, you guys. I told you, you got to take the hand if you have the chance like that. So anyways, Daryl keeps the hand and they're off tracking Merle, trying to find him. At the camp, Andrea and Amy caught so many fish because they're girl bosses that they're gonna have a big fish fry for everyone. So that's exciting. Also, Jim, I don't know if we talked about him in the last video. He's digging holes. He's digging graves quietly, menacingly, disturbingly. He's making everyone upset, scaring the kids, but he's just digging holes, you guys. So anyways, Shane arrests him and ties him up to a tree and is you can't dig holes here. I'm the head sheriff. Which is okay, whenever Rick's not here, I guess. Shane ties Jim to a tree, and that's their jail now. If you're digging holes, you're gonna get tied to a tree. So back with the Spice Girls, they're still out trying to get all those guns that Rick had dropped in episode 1 or 2 when he was wasting everyone's time and resources, because now they gotta go get them. They came up with a genius plan to get the guns. They're gonna make Glenn go alone to do it. That's the genius plan. Glenn goes out to get him. He scuttles, he scurries, he scampers around. He gets the guns, the bag of guns. He runs, he scurries away. But then the plan goes awry, you guys. Daryl and Glenn run into some other boys that they didn't know they were going to be there, and the other boys didn't know they were going to be there. There's a big misunderstanding, and Daryl kidnaps one of their boys' boys, and the other boys kidnap Glenn. And they all get away. Daryl and T-Dog and Rick have a kidnapped 15-year-old or whatever. And the other boys have Glenn. But Rick and Daryl and them have the guns, at least. The Spice Girls start interrogating their hostage, the child, the little boy that they took, Daryl. See, this is why I said you have to take a hand if you find it. You don't know when it's going to be useful. Daryl takes his brother's hand out, wiggles it around, and is this is what happened to the last person I interrogated. And he tosses it at him, slaps him in the face with it. Thank you. Took the hand, it came in useful later. That was a quest item. Rick wants to do a prisoner exchange. Rick and Daryl take the little boy where the other boys are. The other boys are called the Vatos, and they want the guns. Rick shows up. Here's your boy. You could give us our boy and we'll all go our merry way. But then the Vatos, turns out they have Glenn up on the roof, standing up there. And they're how about you give us all of those guns or we push him off the roof right now? Poor Glenn. Is he gonna die? No, duh. So there's no trade right now. Rick and the Spice Girls still have the little boy hostage. New plan. This one, it's gonna be so good, you guys. It's gonna work. I don't remember because I watched this a week ago and then I got really sick. So we'll see. So they go back to the Vatos building. They have a plan now. And there's almost a shootout. I guess that was the plan. Who knows? Not me. They're all pointing their guns at each other. The Vatos are we're gonna shoot you. And Rick's we're gonna shoot you. But then who comes out? Abuela. Felipe's Abuela. We didn't talk about Felipe. He's one of the Vatos. But Abuela comes out. And it turns out that the Vatos were protecting a bunch of old people, you guys. They're not bad boys. They're good boys. So Abuela takes Rick and co to go see Glenn. And Glenn is just chilling. He's hanging out with the old people. Rick decides that he likes the Vatos now because they're good boys. So he gives them a couple guns, but like not that many, but like a few guns to protect themselves. And then they leave. The truck that they drove into Atlanta on was stolen, so Merle probably took it. I don't know if we care about that. So back at the camp, we're with Andrea, and she is talking about, apparently, she still remembers what day it is and like the date, which is like, why are you wasting time? I don't even know what day it is, and it's Mother's Day. Andrea realizes that tomorrow is Amy, little baby sister Amy's birthday. So Andrea wants to give her a necklace, and she's like looking for wrapping paper and stuff. But it's like, girl, you're not going to find wrapping paper. Just give her the fucking necklace. Who cares? Shane lets Jim go. Remember last episode, piece of shit Ed Boo had gotten like the shit kicked out of him, so we see he's like recovering in his tent, still being a piece of shit, and he fucking sucks. And he's like, Carol and Sophia's their daughter, we haven't talked about her. He was like, you guys stay in the tent with me, and Carol's like, no, we're gonna go have fish because you're an idiot and you can't even move. So they leave him there, and the group has a fun little fish fry. They're eating, they're teasing Dale because he's old and wears a watch, and it's like, okay ma'am, but does your fucking iPhone work? I don't think so. But also, like, we don't care about Dale. During the fish fry, Amy, little baby sister Amy, almost her birthday Amy, goes off to go take a pee, and while she's gone, there's a zombie attack. Gasp! Zombies everywhere. Ed, dead. Amy, bit. Jim, bit? Everyone's scrambling, they're fighting. The Spice Girls get back, Rick and the squad. Rick and Daryl and T-Dog and Glenn, they get back, and they've got all the guns now. So they save the day. Pew, 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 pew! Shooting everyone, shooting them right in the heads. They save the day. Amy dies in Andrea's arms. Little baby sister Amy. Little baby sister, birthday's almost tomorrow, Amy. She dies in Andrea's arms, and Andrea is heartbroken. She's very sad. Also, Jim said at the end of the episode, he was like, I remember why I was digging all of those holes now. I dreamed that this would happen. And it's like, there's prophecy in The Walking Dead now, you guys. Jim is that so ravening it up. And I bet if he lasted longer, he would have helped the group out a lot more later. That is the end of the episode. Episode 5. The Walking Dead. This is the penultimate episode. I don't get to say that word a lot. So it's the next day. It's morning now, so it's been several hours, and Andrea is still sitting over Amy's dead body who's been bit. She's sad. She won't move or talk. Amy won't move or talk either, but that's because she's dead, not sad. And people keep going up to Andrea and being like, hey, sweetie, and she's just like not having it. So Jackie finds out that Jim is hiding a bite right there. So he got bit right there, and Jackie finds out, and then Jim is like, don't tell them. And Jackie, good girl Jackie, turns around and immediately is like, Jim's bit right here, everyone. She literally yells it to the class. We love her for that. And so the group can't decide what to do with Jim because they're like, do we kill him? Do we like help him get better? Rick is like, let's help him get better. And everyone else is kind of like, hun, they don't get better from this. You've got to learn. You've got to know by now. We're almost at the end of the season, baby girl. They're like arguing back and forth. And Rick's big idea is that they should all take Jim to the CDC. Because maybe the CDC will be able to cure this. Maybe, you guys. We don't know. We'll have to go there. Maybe we will. Andrea puts the birthday necklace on little baby sister Amy's corpse. If anyone cares about that, might even just cut it out. Piece of shit Ed died. Woo! And Carol smashes his brains in with a pickaxe so that he doesn't come back as a zombie. But also, she clearly takes out some anger because she's like, where? Ooh, Carol, you guys. We love Carol. Amy turns into a zombie because that's what happens when you get bit and then you die and then nobody stabs you in the head, duh. So she turns into a zombie and Andrea, just as soon as it happens, like shoots her right in the head. Why didn't you do that before she came back? Wouldn't that be less traumatic for you? But I don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows. The group decides to have a big funeral because Glenn is like, we bury our dead. They burn the zombies. So they have a funeral. Interestingly, I noticed when I watched it, they have like 10 bodies wrapped up in tarps that they're burying. But I only know of Amy, Ed, and Jim. And Jim's not even dead yet. So, like, there were a lot of unnamed characters, or they named them and I just didn't care about them. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not doing a good job at this. They've got Jim sitting in the RV, chilling in the Winnebago, and he has a terrible fever. I wonder why. I wonder if it has anything to do with being bit by a corpse. And he's coughing everywhere. He's spitting. It's disgusting. We hate him. And Rick is like, yeah, you guys, this is fine. We can help him. I can fix him. Shane Stee doesn't like Rick's CDC idea because it came from Rick and not him. And why does Rick get to have Lori and the ideas? It's just not fair. So Shane sucks now. They're not best friends anymore. So Rick and Shane go for a little hike through the woods. And they argue about whether or not to go to the CDC. And then Rick's like walking through the woods and Shane points his little gun at him. Ugh. He points his gun at him, you guys. What are you gonna do? Shoot him? Are you gonna shoot him? He doesn't shoot him. But then he puts his gun down and he turns and Dale is right there. Old man Dale, who still wears a watch, is standing right there and he watches what happens. And now Dale doesn't trust Shane. But Shane's a piece of shit and probably doesn't trust Dale either because now Dale knows that Shane's a piece of shit and we know that. Woo! So the next day, the group decides to head out to the CDC except for Morales and his family because they want to go do their own thing. I bet it's going to work out great for them. Not for his family, but Morales does actually come back in season 8. Spoilers! So, they go to the CDC. They're driving. There's like a little montage. We're moving, it's a caravan, and the RV, the Winnebago, breaks down almost immediately. Duh. And as soon as it breaks down, it is very obvious that Jim is not gonna make it. Jim asks the group to leave him behind, and they do. And they just like leave him on the side of the road and they drive away. Then they go to the CDC without him. So Jim dies. Jim was eliminated, you guys. The RV is fixed, I guess. Like it died just long enough for them to like litter him on the side of the road. And then it's like, oh, the Winnebago works again. I think Dale was just like, I'm not having this man die in my fucking car, you guys. Woo! The end of the episode, we see the CDC and we see Dr. Jenner. He's a new character. We'll talk about him more if I get to the end of Walking Dead World Beyond one day. What? France? So we see Dr. Jenner at the CDC. He's doing science. He's got tubes. He's got meat. He's got spinners. I don't know what any of it means. He's made no progress and he seems very depressed. And he's also the only one in the whole CDC. And then the episode ends with the group showing up outside the CDC. And there's just like dead bodies everywhere and they can't get in. And that's the end of that episode. Episode 6, you guys. I hope you're ready. We're almost done with season 1. That rhymed. You're welcome. The group is at the CDC. They had been like banging on the doors. They were like, let us in. You're killing us. And Shane and the whole group was like, Rick, this is stupid. We have to leave now. It's almost nighttime and the zombies are going to get here. But Rick is like screaming at the door. But then finally Jenner opens the door and lets them all in. And he welcomes them. He does take a blood sample from everyone because they're like nasty feral people. They have a feast. They've got chicken, probably. I don't know. A lot of food. A lot of wine. They give Carl wine. He hates it. Rick should be arresting himself for that. That is still illegal, you guys, and it's very important to me that we hold Rick accountable. Everyone is so happy except for Andrea because her little baby sister died. Remember Amy, you guys? She died. Jenner explains to them all that he's the last scientist there, which means that there's basically just no hope for humanity. But at least he saved them, you guys, and they have wine and chicken, probably. Everyone gets to take a shower, and they're really happy. They're all so happy, except for Andrea. She's still sad, and it's like, girl, get over it. You're in a shower now. Also, Shane is getting shit-faced in the shower, and we really don't like Shane this episode. I just remembered I'm gonna have to start trigger warning these, you guys, because Shane is about to... Rick goes and has a private conversation with Jenner, Dr. Jenner, the scientist with all the tubes. You remember him? They have a private conversation, and Rick is like, thank you so much for taking us in. We never would have survived out there. And it's like, bet you will. So then we cut to Shane, and he's mad at Lori, and he comes in and he yells at her, and he gets really creepy, and he's like, why would you leave me for Rick? And she's like, leave you for Rick? Rick is my husband. You're the other woman here, missy. And then, trigger warning for everything, you guys. Shane tries to force himself on Lori, and she like claws his neck, and then he scampers off, and we fucking hate him. The next day, Jenner gathers the whole group up, takes them to the science room, and he shows them a MRI CGI X-ray brain, and it dies. It's like all the little lights go out of the brain, because your brain, when it dies, all the lights go out inside. And he explains to them that that's like when you get bit by a zombie, your brain dies, but then you come back to life, but not alive. You're a zombie. It's dead and it's gross. And everyone is like, oh yeah, we kind of have seen that like 60 times happen already, but thank you for showing us the gross inside version of it. And then Dr. Jenner explains that the entire facility that they're in right now is set to self-destruct in like 30 minutes. It's just gonna blow up the whole fucking building, you guys. He's saved them for nothing. He didn't even save them. It's gonna blow up. Yeah, he's like, sorry you guys, everyone's gonna die, but actually this is better, because if you die in here, it's just an explosion instead of getting literally eaten to death by corpses outside. But the group is like, hey, bastard, maybe let us make that choice. It's so easy, you guys. It's barely an inconvenience. Don't even worry about it. Dr. Jenner is like, okay, y'all can go then, I guess, if you can get out. So the group goes to go, and they go to go. Most of them do. But first, Dr. Jenner, before everyone leaves, this surprised me, you guys. Dr. Jenner pulls Rick into a tender, passionate embrace and whispers a sexy little secret right into his ear. And I think he might have like licked the earlobe a little bit with it too. I saw that. Wonder what that secret was. Maybe we'll find out at the end of season 2. We don't know. Nobody knows. How could I know that? So most of the group is like, yeah, let's get out of here. But Jackie, poor Miss Jackie that didn't even get her name said enough times in this show, decides that she's gonna stay and die in the explosion because that's cool as shit. And she doesn't want to get eaten by people. I don't blame her. Also, Andrea wants to stay too, but Dale won't let her. And so the group breaks out of the building, and like they can't get out of the like last wall. But then they do get out because Carol found a grenade where nobody knows. We don't know. She finds stuff like this constantly. We love Carol here, you guys. So Carol blows up a wall with a grenade, and they all get out. And then the building explodes up in flames. The whole thing collapses. So they use an explosion to escape the explosion. Come on, you guys. That's just cool cinematic filmmaking. Everybody gets out of the building except for Jenner and Jackie. Jackie and Jenner, the scientist and Jackie. They die. R.I.P. We love them. We don't really love Jenner that much, but like maybe we'll love him in the future when he goes to France. In the past, the building completely explodes. Everyone's back on the roads driving. We've got no food in the cars. We've got probably no supplies in there either. And the season ends with them just kind of driving away, not really sure where they're going. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. If you want to leave a comment or a like or even subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. And I will catch you guys later.